Hello, it's James again from JRTBs. Today is April 20th and currently 72 degrees. I'm going to get into some hives today. I figured I'd bring you along on the first one I'm doing. It's number 3. And last time I checked, 12 days ago, they were pretty big. I added that super on top of the base. And what I've been doing, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like in the last 3 days, I haven't had a lot of time. Doing a couple here and a couple there. Did one yesterday. And I'm just going through, basically looking, see if they're doing anything in this top super. And checking for queen cells and queen cups. Let me show you what I see in here. They got there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 frames of bees, I would say. These are foundations on the outside that I put in. I don't have a whole bunch of drawn comb. They're definitely working those middle. So what I'm doing, I'm going to explain while I work. Checking for queen cups, obviously. It's that time of year. I think they're a good week and a half ahead of what they were last year. And the queen right now is anywhere she wants to be. And there's some drone comb and drone brood there. But I don't see, any cups here in this top one, so I'm just going to set this one down. Not much in it. But the other hives so far, the other colonies, are definitely bringing in some nectar. The red buds are full bloom right now. They're hitting them pretty hard. The apple trees just opened up. I have some here that are just starting to open. There's one up by the house that's fully open. There's some cherry trees and lots of dandelions, a ton of dandelions. So they're definitely bringing nectar in now. It's not the full heavy flow yet. I think we still got a couple weeks away on that, but trying to keep them from swarming. And I have found just queen cups with eggs in them. And, that tells me that the queen laid that egg. It's 2 or 3 days old. I did find one with a larva in it. This box is heavy. So they're packing that honey in. But they're not too happy. Hopefully you can see that. You can see all those cups there on the bottom. I noticed in these medium boxes, I didn't find any cups on the sides because there's really not much room in a medium to put swarm cells on the sides. Just looking at them, these are all dry so far. And as of now, I did make one split the other day, but I'll tell you what I'm doing with this. If I don't find anything, these are all dry, there's no eggs, but I did find some with eggs, and I'm just knocking them all down for now. And then I'm going to go in and try to find the queen, which I did in those last 5, and I put her down in the bottom deep box under a queen excluder. That way, I don't know if I'm too early doing that. It's only my 4th season. But I run all single hive management. If I get the queen in the bottom, then I know where she is, and I know where I won't find any more of these cups up here. But I will say, because there's eggs up here, so they could theoretically in the next week pull out a swarm cell somewhere in the middle. So next week I'll have to go through these boxes really quickly and just check and make sure that they're not making any swarm cells inside the frames. So now I'm going to set this one off. I'm assuming the queen is in the bottom. Out of those 5, only one of them I found the queen in the middle. Super. They've all been in the bottom. That is about 30 pounds, so they're definitely putting the honey in there, and there has to be brood. There's lots of brood in there too. So what I want is the queen at the bottom now. Everything in those 2 boxes there will hatch out. I have an upper entrance so all the drones can get out. And let me move you down here. And then hopefully they backfill everything with honey, and that'll give them enough space. But I noticed with the single brood box, you still have to check every 7 to 10 days to make sure they're not building queen cells. But hopefully once the honey flow really gets going, hopefully they won't swarm. But all my swarms last year were definitely in May, which is a week away. We're about a week early, so yeah, I'm taking a chance, but I like having the queen where I know where she is, so when I do have to look for something, I know where to look. And also give it another 2 or 3 weeks before I start checking and doing some alcohol washes and checking for mites. So now I noticed in all the other 5 hives so far, I have 6 to do today somehow. I didn't find any swarming, any cups or anything in the bottom. But I found a ton of brood in the bottom, usually with the queen. That's just all pollen, completely, both sides. Set that over here. So that's good. So once I go through this deep, hopefully find the queen, I'll clip her, put her in a clip, make sure there's nothing down here swarming. That's all brood. And then I'll put the queen excluder on, and then I will be going through that middle super really quick just to make sure there are no cups or queen cells started on the sides of any frames. And I'm going to set one more out, even though that one has brood on it. I like to pull 2 out. This is a really packed hive. I want to pull 2 out to give myself some more room. And I think, see if we could find the queen. And I know she's down here. I know there's eggs and brood. There's eggs, so she's probably close. A little drone brood there. No signs of cups or queen cells down here. Some more drone brood. Hopefully you can see that. I see a lot of girls with pollen. Just double checking for the queen. Pretty calm. This hive, this bottom box here is very quiet. And that just gives me a hint that the queen is down here somewhere. There's some drones running around. See those bigger bees there. Drones. I really haven't seen any drones in and out of the hives yet. I haven't looked really close, but it's all brood. I mean, these hives are open larvae. Won't see the queen. There's no signs of cups down here. But there's 3 frames of brood. There's probably 6 frames of brood or 7 in here, and it's probably too big. But I do my best with the swarming. I don't have that much time, but you really have to go in them every week. at least every 10 days. I try to go in every 7 days. That's all capped brood, open larva, more brood, all those empty spots, and we'll see if you can see the larva down in there. So this is, queen's doing great here, good laying pattern, but no signs of any swarm cells down here. And you know, this time of year, there's no like set technique or anything that I'm doing. I just have to go into the colony and see what I see and adjust on the fly. That's kind of the best part I like about beekeeping. You just have to kind of figure it out. There's eggs, open larva. I don't see the queen. She should be marked yellow. I've also been, when I find the queen, if her yellow is almost gone from last year, I've been trying to remark them, but they just seem to clean it off. I don't know if the yellow just doesn't stick well, but they usually have. The ones I've seen, very faint yellow marks left on them. Whew, solid brood. Solid brood. This hive is gonna explode, but I'm hoping it'll explode at the right time when the real heavy nectar flow starts. See that girl with the yellow pollen baskets or orange pollen baskets? There's no queen cells or anything down here so far. Also, I haven't seen the queen yet. And I did make a split the other day. Hive number 8. That was my best colony last year as far as honey production. And they were big, not as big as this hive though. And I did a walk-away split. I just took 2 frames with some open brood eggs and a lot of capped brood. And then I gave them a frame of honey that I had and a frame of pollen, and then 1 empty frame. And you know, I found that queen in that colony, but I figured I'd try. By the time they make a queen, this is all open larva. By the time they make a queen, the drone should be flying, and the queen should be able to go out and mate. That colony is actually right behind me. I'll show you in a minute. And then I gave just 2 heavy waxed brand new frames for number 8 to work on, just to give them something to do. I also shook 5 frames of bees, 2 from number 8 and 3 frames from number 7 into that nuke. So they had 2 frames with bees plus 5 shakes, so it's got plenty of bees. Let's see. They got this, no eggs yet. It's all polished up. Getting it ready for the queen. I still haven't seen her. There's only 1 frame left. And look, there's a queen cell there. Right in the middle. Let's see if there's anything in it. These are the ones you gotta watch for. And there is nothing in there. You know, I just get rid of them. They'll probably make that by the end of the day, remake it if they want. They're the ones you gotta watch, those sneaky ones. Okay. Well, if I don't find the queen here, then she might be in the middle box. Or she could be down under the slatted rack. I mean, it's a very calm, quiet hive. But I noticed over the years, sometimes you get a runner, and it's weird, they just run, even though this is probably a honey frame. We could find her here. I found them before in the last frame. Yeah, it's a heavy frame. Honey, nothing on that side. Nope, I don't see her. All right. There's no comb below the slather rack, so that's good. Okay, I'm just gonna push these together. Not see the queen, so we'll see if I can find her. I gotta go through that super anyway to make sure there's no queen cells. But I usually like to wait until I actually have some drawn out queen cells with larvae and royal jelly, you know, when I start elongating them, or if I find them and they're capped. That's what I'll use to make splits, and I'll usually take the queen out and leave the mother colony with 2 of the best queen cells that they made, and let them raise their own queen and just start another small colony, like a 5-frame nuke with the old queen. If something happens and they don't make a queen, you can always reintroduce that 5-frame nuke back, you know, with a paper combined. But normally I haven't had any problem with these big colonies making new queens. And it's a good brood break, you know, right before the honey flow. And I've noticed if they are in the process of making new queens, you know, all the brood hatches out, and it seems like they just focus on honey while they're, you know, there's less brood to take care of while they're waiting on their queen, and then they just go gangbusters and start storing honey, in my experience anyway. All right, put this super. I'm actually going to go through the super here. Oh, here's that 5-frame nuke, and I built all these. They're just plywood boxes, and they just started to kind of forage and stuff, but there's a lot of bees in there, and I'll probably give them probably 2 weeks, and then I'll go in and check and see. They should have some queen cells. I made that 2 days ago, so they should have some queen cells, you know, started, and it's going to take 16 days, so another 14 days for a queen to hatch. Now the queen could be in here, and she could run into that lower box. Let's see. I want to make sure you can see. Yep. Let's see. Coming in. This box is heavy. And some of this honey is, I mean, I think that's last season's honey, but that's all new nectar and pollen. I don't worry about that in the honey supers. They will probably pull, that's all new pollen, so they'll pull that out and use it up with all the new brood. But this hive is, I knew this was one of the bigger ones, and this frame weighs a ton. You can see it's all pollen and new nectar coming in. There's a little bit of brood at the bottom. This hive is brood. So these bees are also very quiet. So the queen would definitely be up here too. Drone brood, larva. Don't see any eggs on that one. There's some drones. Some worker brood. Some honey around the outsides. These are nice little frames. I see some eggs there, so there are some eggs on there, so she could be up here. You see what I mean? I mean, they're much smaller frames, so there's not as much room to sneak one of those little queen cells on the sides of the frames, is like they do in the deep. Yeah, I just would like to get the queen in the bottom, and then next week I'll probably have my hands full trying to make splits. I did bring a couple nuke boxes with me today, just in case I found some big queen cells or a really packed hive. More brood. Trying to make a quick video. This one's not going so quick. Those other 5 I had no problem. Found a queen pretty quick in the bottom. So I don't think I'm going to get through all 6. I only go till 4:30 today. I see eggs. Looking for the queen. I'm going to hold this, see if you can see those eggs. It's pretty dark at the bottom. You should see little grains of rice down there. And then again right here in the middle. Hopefully you can see that. No queen yet. If I don't find a queen, then I'm just going to put them back together and try again next time. So I got to come through them again anyway. I know I see a lot of guys, they shake them all down with, if you can use a deep box, and shake all these bees off down into that bottom. And then you know she'll be down there, but I don't, well, I've never tried that, and I do shake bees sometimes. I don't want to shake the queen if I don't have to. So I just take a little extra time and try to find her. If I don't, then I'll just let her go, and she'll have plenty of room. More brood. No queen. She could be in that top box for all I know. Very nice bees though. It is a nice day. I don't know if I said it was 72 degrees. It's supposed to be in the 80s tomorrow. And then next week, more capped brood. I see we're in the 30s at night next week, and only like 60, 62. There's a bunch of 50-degree days where it's almost too cold to even pull, pull brood. So I mean, next week might be tough. I might not be able to do much of this, and they could start swarming. So you can only do what you can do. I work full time, so this is extra curricular activities for me. This is all honey. Drone brood at the bottom. Later in the season, I'll, when these frames get really messy at the bottom, all stuck together, bird comb and drone brood, I will dress them up and cut that off. But just trying to get through these today. So the next is solid honey. And that looks like new honey to me because they're capping at the bottom. No queen. Yeah, this is brand new. They collected that this spring. It's definitely early. That's about 3.5 pounds. Just about full. Nice light color. Let's see what this outside one is. Alright, so it doesn't look like this one's getting the queen excluder. Unless I could find that queen in the top. This one's full. This is a darker color. This is, I think this is a leftover fall honey. Definitely dark. And I can tell it's been there a while, so I'm gonna put an F on it for fall, because I don't want to. I'll just leave that one in when I end up pulling this off and extracting honey. I won't extract that one. I'll just give it back to them in the fall, because I don't want to mix. I get the spring honey, and I usually get like a summer honey, and then again a darker honey in the fall, which that is. I definitely don't want to extract that as mixing it with the spring honey. Lots of propolis. Alright. A lot of times when I'm putting in that last frame, that's all new nectar. But that looks pretty dark too. It just depends on what they bring in. Usually the spring honey is a light. There's a light color here and a darker color up in here. But now, so I don't hurt these bees, I know the queen's not on there. I'll shake them just to make it easier to get this frame in, so I don't roll any bees. Doesn't upset them too much. Okay, center everything the best you can. There's not much room in here with all the propolis. All right, I'm going to set this one back on. This hive is really booming. Going down. Coming down. Okay. So let's go through this one really quick. She could be up there. She could have been up there. I think there's some brood in there. I'll try to lower you down here. Tripod. All right, let's see. Get one of these out. They're heavily waxed. I put them in there. Heavily waxed, and I'm not doing anything on that one. But I did notice in some of the others, they're actually starting to draw frame out, which is nice. It's all nectar. I wouldn't expect the queen to be there. This side's open. So what I do is, since they started filling this side, I'll put this one back. I'll turn it around so they, so they'll work that side more. Try to manipulate the frames a little bit to try to get them drawn out. They're stuck at the bottom. This is some drone comb at the bottom. There's eggs here, so sheesh. This is the first one, the first colony I found eggs in the top. She could be up here. She could be on the lid right now underneath, for all I know. I don't know if you can see those eggs in there. It's a black foundation. Hopefully you can see. Man, this hive is definitely gonna have to be split. But it's hard to do. I like to find a queen. Take the queen out and let them make a new queen, because a new queen, once you get a new queen in here, you know, late spring, early summer, they're not going to swarm usually. A new queen won't swarm. This is all full of eggs. Where is she? There's nectar on this side. These eggs are really easy to see. See them down in there. I wonder where she is. I don't even know if she's marked. I should have looked back in my notes. They should all be marked. I think they're all yellow. I don't think I have any whites left. For one reason or another, every year I end up, not on purpose, but I end up with new queens. Oh, there she is. And she has a nice yellow dot on her. See her right there? And this is all right there in the middle. This is all drone comb. It's weird, they drew it all out in drone comb. So I'm gonna get her in a clip. Set her down, now I know where she is. I don't know if you could see that. This whole, oh, I know why. This is a foundationless frame. I tried some comb honey last year, and it worked. I got some. It's really hard, but wow, they did this year. This was empty when I put it in here. This is all drone comb, and it's all full of larvae. This one would be a good one once it's capped to take it out and freeze it and kill all the, in case there's any, you know, to help with the mites. Or I can let them fill it with honey once it all hatches out. I don't know what I'll do with that one yet, but I'll make a note of that. But there's definitely there's no cups up here. She's not, you know, trying to swarm up here at all. That's all nectar. So I'm going to turn that one around. And a good trick, I think, I'm trying this year, since this is brood, this is that drone brood, and there's brood here. Let me check. Yep, that's eggs. I'm going to flip this one around. It's warm enough, I think. Well, hopefully it's not too cold next week. So now I got brood on this side, brood on this side, and I'm going to take this frame that I want them to draw out, and I'm going to put it in the middle of the brood, because brood frames, they won't make them fat. They'll grow the brood. Hopefully they'll draw out that frame. So I still have, these are empty, and these two are empty. So hopefully they'll draw this out, because they won't, if you put this between two honey frames, in my experience anyway, all they do is they draw this honey frame deep in, and they draw this honey frame deep in, and they ignore this. And now you got these two really fat, one-sided combs. It's a real pain in the neck, and then they don't draw that out. I guess you get the same amount of honey maybe, but you got to cut it all off anyway, and you know, it's good wax you could save. But with brood frames, they only go so deep. They only draw them out enough to grow the brood. So I don't know, I just thought about it, and I'm going to try it this year, and hopefully it works. All right. Now I have to move this over for you. So now I'm going to, I got the queen. Straighten it up here. There's a ton of bees up there. I am going to take this one off, get a queen excluder, get the queen put back on. There's the queen. I'll put her up here. girls. Okay, we got a queen excluder. I like these metal bound queen excluders. They seem to hold up good when you break the boxes. They work really good. I have a whole bunch of the plastic ones, but they work. I'm gonna run out of metal ones, so I'll probably have to use some plastic ones. They work just fine, but when you breaking the boxes apart, they stick more. I forgot something. The queen. Wouldn't be the first time. Alright. So we know this is just full of brood. Let's see. A little close up. I just open it up. Sometimes it takes a little while, but I like to watch her and let her walk out on her own. And she's doing phenomenal. I can see her up at the top. Come on, girl. There she is. Oh, she went back in. Oh, she went back in. Come on. There she is again. There she goes. Let's see if she'll get off. They want her to come out. Come on, girl. Give him a little shake. There she goes. It's hard to say, but she just went down. Check these bees off. Make sure she's not in there. Nope, I didn't see the yellow. I saw the bottom of her go down. I'll have to check the video. Alright, now we can do the queen excluder. I know she's in there. Sorry, bees. So hard not to crush a bee or two. Alright. This is very heavy. This one back on top, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. And then I'm putting all the notches on the inner covers. You can see the notch. I face it down to the front. And that's how I keep them all summer long. So this way, any drones that do hatch can get out. This will come out when I do inspections. The foam back on. Put my lid on, and I think they will be good for another week, and that's going to be about it, because they're going to explode, and I'm going to have to constantly check for swarming. The hard part about swarming is sometimes you just don't know which hive it is that swarmed, because if they swarm and they have multiple queen cells in there, and then you get after swarms, and it could get really bad. Where this hive right here last year, it swarmed like 5 times, and it was the only colony that didn't produce any honey because there was nothing left in there. But now I've got queen excluders on all these colonies. This is the only colony. It's still a little small So I didn't add a super on top of that one yet. But there's a lot of brood in there, so in 2 weeks they'll need a super. And now I've got to check the rest of these. And this colony was kind of small coming out of winter, and I gave them a bunch of brood. So they could be ready for a super. And these 3 are big, probably like the one we just went through. There's lots of activity, lots of pollen coming up. There's a drone right there. Yep, the drone just flew off. There's another drone coming out. There's another drone coming out. There's more drones, they're all coming out. Alright, so should be no problem with walkaway splits. Unless the weather really gets nasty and they stop flying, which could definitely happen. Alright, well, I'm sorry for the long video. Until next time, good luck with your bees.